I want to talk a little bit about meditation today. I've gotten a couple of questions on my channel, and one person explicitly say, "Well, talk about how to meditate." And let's see, another interesting comment I noticed is somebody said, "Well, when I am by myself and I close my eyes, my body gets really heavy." I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine." And then they said, "But when I'm with other people and being, extroverted, I get really giggly and up when I'm on salvia," which is also fine. Except I thought, wait, you're smoking salvia and not meditating? It never even occurred to me to, to not meditate when I'm on salvia. But a lot of people, if the, I guess it isn't that automatic. That's why I haven't talked about it. But I think of salvia as it's like a performance enhancing drug for your ability to meditate and do spirituality. The simplest way to think of it is that it allows me at least, and hopefully other people, to drop into a space, a meditative space with your eyes closed generally. A lot of people like to lie down, but I don't. I like to sit up. Uh, but it basically cuts off the first 30 minutes of a meditation session, which is nice because when I meditate, it'll take me 20, 30 minutes or maybe to drop into a good spot. Or maybe I just can't at all because my mind is all, you know, like that. But with salvia, it just drops in. But if you're not meditating, there's almost no point, and you won't even feel it. If you're trying to be out here and relating to the world with on salvia, you could smoke quite a bit, and you might not even really even notice that it's there actually. Uh, the meditative process, and I speak of meditative process and salvia process as almost interchangeable things. They're so similar for me and so intertwined. And there is more than one kind of meditation, but I come from Vipassana, which is the traditional word for mindfulness meditation. And that is what I like most is mindfulness meditation. And so the simple process really is it is simply a rigorous, conscious way of just noticing. It's as simple as that. It is just noticing what's around you. And well, I say around you, but really what I mean is noticing things within the conscious field, which is both perceptual things like my phone, as well as things like, oh, how do I feel? Am I tired? I'm a little slight. No, I'm not really tired. I have a little bit of nervous feeling because I'm shooting a video, and I can feel that in my emotional state. I notice that I speak a little bit on the faster side, right? And also, I can feel that in nervous energy coursing in my body a little bit. If I didn't close my eyes and notice that, then I wouldn't notice that. And salvia helps us notice those things. And then, as far as how does the healing work, like I'm getting questions about, well, how does it work therapeutically? I'm not a therapist, and I don't claim to be a therapist, and I don't want to be a therapist. But I do work on myself, and I do work on other people, and I guess I'm sort of almost inching my way into that kind of thing. My belief and my experience is that conscious awareness itself is a healing energy, if you like. So you simply notice things, and when you notice what's going on in your life, and you notice the relationships, when you notice your insecurities or your problems, your frustrations, as soon as you notice, just note them. Notice why they're there, and notice your emotions around them, and notice how they trigger memories and things from previous in your life. That noticing process is itself inherently healing. Not to say that there's not other stuff that you can't do, but simply becoming more and more and more aware of the life that you're actually living is inherently a positive force in your life, and salvia can help you do that. Let's see here. I think as an example, I get shy or have social insecurities, you might say, in certain situations. I'm talking to an authority figure, or like a teacher, somebody I respect, or somebody that I have, or back when I was single, talking to a girl, or somebody I want to work with, or something like that. I always get all fucked up about it. And so, what I'm going to do is just meditate on that feeling and see what happens. All right, here it comes. I'm going to really try to dive in today. The pool wasn't huge. I'm really going to go into a trance today. You let go of the world. One thing I do is I speak, but I allow myself to dissociate from the voice, almost like I'm an audience member of the voice. It's easier to do with your inner dialogue. But in order to turn an inner dialogue into an outer dialogue, all you do is talk with your body as well as your mind. That might be obvious. One thing I notice about any social insecurity is that, well, first of all, there's a tendency to think about how it feels, but really, where it becomes a problem is where it affects your behavior. And then it becomes a self fulfilling prophecy because you get nervous about a particular social kind of situation. And then your nervousness ends up circling back and affecting your behavior. In particular, you avoid those social contacts altogether because you find them uncomfortable. And then, but the problem that becomes really quite destructive because the social interactions that you are avoiding are the ones that actually mean the most to you. So this becomes a very destructive habit. what you're doing is a sort of defensive posture. You're expecting when somebody has something that you want, that means that they have a certain amount of power over you, and then you take a defensive posture because they are essentially armed. Even if it's somebody who you like, they have power over you because of your expectations of what you might get from that relationship. And so, just as metaphorically speaking, just like if somebody you knew that you were with an animal that was dangerous or a person who might attack you, you would take a defensive posture, right? You take a defensive posture, and then that affects, your uh, everything that you do with your behavior. Well, metaphorically speaking, when you're dealing with somebody who is in a situation that you have expectations for what you might get out of that relationship, and so you take a defensive posture because they have a certain amount of power over you. But notice that it's actually a decision that you're making. Meaning, taking that defensive posture, it's a habit. Habits feel out of control, but they're not. They're actually things that you just habitually do, but you're habitually choosing to do them. You take a defensive posture around a person, you're habitually deciding to take that defensive posture. It's probably because in the past there's been situations where you got hurt, where you had expectations around other people. So this ends up being the necessary solution is a leap of faith to put yourself to lower your guard. You just have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And if there are people that, due to your expectations, are in a situation where they could hurt you, well, there is no guarantee that that won't happen again. And unfortunately, if it does happen, then it ends up adding to that trauma and feeding back into that unfortunate habitual behavior and the emotions around them. But there's no other choice. There's no way of getting around it. Because when you take that defensive posture, you avoid the relationships that mean a lot to you. Well, that also feeds into the negativity. So the defensive posture itself doesn't solve anything at all. The only solution is well, there's two. A is just accept yourself the way you are, accept the world the way you are, and accept that you've got these habits that hold you back, but the world is beautiful anyway. So cool. And you should never forget that option or forget that reality. All of the fixes that we see in the world, all the fixes that we want in our own lives, are all happening within a world that doesn't actually need to change because it's already there. The world is already good and you're already good. The flower is already beautiful. That having been said, within the little drama, the solution is to be vulnerable. You just have to let down your guard. And if you get punched in the face, you get punched in the face, and you just have to get better, or be good at the healing process. But And what's cool is if you smoke salvia and you have a meditative practice and you've got uh, your a good self-care machinery uh, already set, then you can allow yourself to be vulnerable because you can heal so fast when you do get hit. So when you're in a social situation, challenge yourself to be vulnerable. Notice the nervousness. Understand that the negativity is your own clinching. It's your clinching that is the negativity. Hits from the outside actually only happen every once in a while. You notice that you're clinching, and then that clinching either lets go or it doesn't. Invite yourself to unclench your hands. Even when you're in moments that matter. You're doing a performance that matters. You're talking to a person that matters. You're making a video that matters. Be vulnerable. Let the hits come in if they're going to come in. Remember that you have your tools for healing anyway, so it doesn't matter. Be present in the world. Let people know who you are. Oh boy, this video got long, but that's how you do salvia video healing. Now I'm excited to apply it. That was all personal, you know. That stuff was that's me working on myself, and that's how I work on myself, and how I'm inviting you to. I mean, I'm just trying to show you how I do it. I'll see you later.